First, I'd like to say special thanks to Chuck and Linda Fondy for their support, generosity, and help make this possible. Also, second, another folks' journey from near and from far to get here to help celebrate this special day. With Mike and Megan, we of course thank you all for doing that and for taking the time to celebrate with us. That word journey, I have such a new appreciation for that word over the last couple of years. I think we all the world shut down, and I think we remembered during that time what was important to us: family, friends, loved ones, people you choose to take this journey with. To have the honor to be here today to watch you two begin this new chapter together, and to have the unique position to have seen you guys when we started this journey a lifetime ago together, it's humbling. I'm just thank you for both for having me to do this. I'm so proud of you, friend and person, for starting this partnership together. I'm really happy to meet you guys. Also, I know there's a couple of things you guys would like to say to one another. by the power vested in me by the Universal Life Monastery, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Make this the bride. Ladies and gentlemen,
If I can have your attention to the head table right there on the stage, everybody turn to them. Sarah's got some words of wisdom for us.
This is Sarah Mallers, factor as
Hold the mic up to you. There you go.
So my name is Sarah Mallers, or Fackler, as many of you might know me, the Russian best friend of the bride. So Bonnie and I met in Bloomington like 16 or 17 years ago probably, working at Upland, and we both moved to LA separately and ended up living in a teeny tiny house together with some other Bloomington transplants. And our little stint in LA is really where we became close friends. So 2 or 3 years into our stint there, we both ended up back in Indianapolis and back at Upland in Indy, as they would have it. So while we were at Upland here in Indy, like maybe 2.5 years ago or so, I was working, Bonnie was sitting at the bar, and Mike walked in and sat down next to her, and they were chit-chatting, and he left, and me, being the Muslim I am, asked who this guy was that she was chatting with, and she told me that his name was Mike, that she knew him from her Bloomington days, and they sort of briefly dated a little bit, and that he seemed sort of interested in reconnecting possibly, and that was about it. So a few days later, the pandemic hit, and everything shut down, and then a few weeks into that, Bonnie tells me that she's going on a date with this Mike guy that was in the other day. So immediately, I go into the lecture about don't touch him, definitely don't kiss him, we don't know this guy that well, this is not the time or the place. But date 1 led into date 2, date 3, and thank goodness she didn't take my advice because here we all are. So, Bonnie has been one of the greatest gifts to me. So she's been like the epitome of a breastbone. She's like always on my team, whether she should be or not. She's always up to do anything. She's loyal, she's fun, she's all of it. And she's really the most loving and nurturing friend. She's made me feel like I need to up my game when it comes to friends, and I'm sure most of you guys, anyone that knows her and is friends with her, you guys know she is always giving 100%. I've always felt like whoever she ends up with is going to be super lucky to spend my life with her. And no, that's you. So Mike, I totally feel you on lack of sin. Bonnie's the best, and you're the best for her, and it's totally obvious. Bonnie, I'm so happy for you. I feel like you have finally found the person that's going to give you unconditional love, which you deserve more than you want to know, and is the perfect match to the person that you are. And I know you guys are going to spend the rest of your lives together, have adventures together, and that's really what it's all about. So, cheers.
Kate? Oh, you gotta go up on the stage.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Oh, yes. There are rules. Jared will help you out.
That's my sister. That's my friend. That's my best friend. That's my No, that's his. That's my
Okay, hi, okay.
Okay, so, hi. When we all agreed that I would be giving a speech at this awesome wedding, I was really excited. That was until I realized I had to write something. Then I went to Canada. I had no idea where to actually start. I searched for templates, somewhere, just a basic idea at least. Just something I could start with. As I searched and searched for hours, I couldn't find anything. It's not that they were bad, they just didn't fit us. Nothing came close to explaining us. We've had such a rocky, magical, and clustered journey. Nothing could sum it up, so here I am trying to do that. Megan, I want to thank you for being a part of our lives. If I could describe you with one word, it would be enchanting. Everyone who meets you immediately loves you in so many different ways, and there's so many different reasons. You've changed my life in a way I can't explain. Not only are you my bonus mom, but you're my friend. Ever since I've met you, I have learned that you teach people to be kinder than they feel. And that's something that I'll always remember. I knew the moment that I met you that my dad seriously loved you, and so did I. You're the reason my dad agreed that we could get the cats, so I thank you for that too. Dad, you've been my best friend my whole life, and you always make me laugh. Sorry. Okay. You gave me and Sam the most amazing childhood, and you always do what's best for us. I want to be like you guys when I grow up. Intelligent, funny, adventurous, free-spirited, kind, ambitious, and just compassionate. Now I'd like to... Now I'd like to share a quick story. So, it was last summer, 2021, and my dad asked me a question. He was like, how would you feel if I asked Megan to marry me? And I was like, well, not much would change. But yeah, that sounds good. And then, Sam knew, and that was a whole conversation. conversation too. And I know there's a whole like, don't say anything unless it's the three of us far away from her. Because we knew we were so scared that the secret would get out. So he told us, he picked us up from camp one day and was like, we're gonna go do it tonight. So we went to the place where they walked on their first date. And she had no idea. We had a nice picnic and it was cool. We all kind of knew of it and knew that she had no idea. And we finally got there and Sam grabbed their drinks and he said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. She was like, well, yeah, me too. And then he bent down on me and was like, will you marry me? And she was like, oh. And she it took her a minute, but she was like, yeah, of course. And she was like, I don't know, what do we do? Okay. And she put the ring on, and she said, I love you. And they hugged, and I remember you said, I've never wanted anything more in my life than to be with you guys forever. Now, one more thing. So we all have a story that tells the things we've been through together, holding hands the whole way through. We can't talk about that without, again, drowning in a puddle of tears. But I can talk about math. You see, there are infinite numbers between 0 and 1. There's 0.44, 0.44, and 0.444. 4. Of course, there are bigger sets of infinite numbers between 0 and 2. And there's an even more infinite set between 0 and 1,000,000. A book that I used to read taught me that. And I'm really happy for you guys, Little Infinity.
Sam, you're up. Almost didn't work out well.
Okay, so let me just start by saying that my dad taught me a lot of things that other dads would teach me. He taught me how to tie my shoes, how to ride a bike, and all those other stuff. But then he taught me one more thing that not a lot of other dads would teach their sons. He taught me how to be kind, gracious, and well-behaved son. He always helped me up when I fell down. Said that he would do anything he could do to make me happy. And he did. He also said what a kind person Megan is. Every day she's joking around, but she's always like laughing, telling jokes, and being one of the most kindest people ever. She'll do anything she can to make you happy. I know that. Because she didn't. That's just like I always said, she did. And we finish off by saying how every day I see them laughing. When I get out of bed for school, I see them laughing when Dad's making breakfast, making them computer. They're laughing and joking around. And it's just like one of the most greatest things ever. I love you guys.
Well, Jared, it's all up to you now.
You made a big mistake going last. I'm gonna top that. That was all fantastic. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jared. I am the best man here. I want to tell you a story about my friend Mike. I met Mike about 17 years ago. This guy that was talking to my girlfriend's roommate showed up at a Halloween party we were having. He was in this sequined 70s Elvis jumpsuit, this gigantic Native American headdress with like a tomahawk and a peace pipe. It was fantastically offensive. It turns out that guy's name was Mike. He had this big laugh and his dreamy blue eyes. And he just fit right in with us. He quickly became one of us. Time went by, we started working together, we had children, we bought homes, we went on vacations together. And then sometime in late summer, early fall of 2019, things started going bad for Mike. He got a divorce. I think, we can all agree, since we're all here, even Jesse, where you are, that it ended up being a net positive for Mike. So one day, early March, this is funny because we're talking about the same day. We didn't even compare notes. Early March 2020, we had Mike and the kids over. Kate and Sam broke off with Jane and Juliet. We sat down to watch a basketball game. And Mike was just distant. And he was just kind of sitting there on his phone. Halftime rolls around and Mike's like, hey, I'm going to run to Upland, grab some beers. I'll be right back. So the Upland's about 5 minutes from my house. I'm like, great, halftime's over. I'm going to be sipping on some Dragonflies. It's going to be a good afternoon. Well, halftime ends and Mike's not back. And then the game ends and Mike's not back. And I'm starting to get worried, but being a man, I was not going to just grab my phone and call Mike and see if he was okay. So eventually I said to my wife Jackie, I said, I think he went to Mexico. But he didn't go to Mexico. He came back in the door, big smile on his face. He's like, guys, I've got to tell you about this conversation I had with this girl. Her name's Megan. I knew her back in college. We just had a great time. And I think we're going to get together and try and see where this thing goes. Then COVID, right? So we locked down. Mike and I closed the office. We go work from home. We're all huddled up. And every once in a while, Mike would say, oh, Megan and I, we had this great time. We went on this walk. We did this thing. It was great. And so one day we were having a Zoom happy hour with our buddy T-Bone. And right at the top of the Zoom happy hour, Mike was like, guys, when this pandemic's over, I'm getting married to Megan. Now, at this point, I had never even met Megan. And so, doing my due diligence, I said, Mike, I'm happy for you, that's great. You sure you don't want to pump the brakes on that a little bit? And he said, no. He said, I'm all in. And that was that. So eventually, I did get to meet Megan. I got to see her wonderful smile, hear her amazing laugh. She's always been, and this is a theme apparently, she's always been so kind to us and to our children. We've been on a few adventures together. I hope to go on a lot more. And Mike, I just want to say thank you to you for bringing Megan into our lives. I love you both very much. I love all this credit I'm getting for bringing her into people's lives. Let's dance. Oh, turn it up. Are we dancing? What are we doing?
You're still there.
Yeah.
You can have an encore.
Oh, do you guys have anything to say? I think we're good. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Well, don't sit down. Now that you bring your wife out to the dance floor and dance for the first time as husband and wife, who wants to see that?
Sam. Got it. Nailed it.